You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yes, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
Hi, this is Bobby Kimbrough, and welcome to Off the Cuffs. Today I'm excited. I have with me Jaydan. Jaydan is my little friend. He teaches me a lot. It's supposed to be the other way around. I'm supposed to be the mentor to the mentee, but I think that I'm the mentee and he's mentoring me. You know, we call this Off the Cuffs for a reason. Off the cuffs meaning we don't rehearse it. We just come straight to you off the cuff, having real conversation. And so today, you know, we're getting ready to prepare to go back to school next week. The schools are opening up. And Jaydan has been with me for about a month now, pretty much the summer, just mentoring, talking. He goes everywhere I go. I'm learning a lot from him, and I hope he's learning a lot from me. But, you know, I was thinking about some of the conversations that we've had, and I thought that I'd share them. I thought that I'd bring him on Off the Cuffs and just have a free-flowing conversation. So, Jaydan, welcome to Off the Cuffs.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here, seeing how you're here every day, but I appreciate that. So, listen, you know, you and I, we met toward the beginning of the summer, probably. We met in May, June. I met you over in your neighborhood, right?
Yes, sir.
And when we started this mentoring program, someone suggested that you and I meet, and we met, and I think it's been a pretty good match. I've learned a lot. You've taught me a lot. You know, one of the moments that kind of stick out in my mind is that we went to lunch one day, me, you, and one of the other mentees, and we were sitting in the restaurant, and I was pretending that I didn't hear you guys. And you guys were talking about how good the food was, and the guy said that the person in the back that's cooking must be black, right? And I pretended that I didn't hear what he was saying. And you asked him, why did he say that? And he said, because the food is good. And he said that, you know, most people that can cook good are blacks. And you looked at him and you said, that's not true. And you said, that's not true. Why? Because you're what?
My mom is white. My dad's black.
And they both can cook, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I pretended not to hear you guys. And so when we got ready to leave the restaurant, I had to see who the cook was. And the cook was a Hispanic, right?
Yes, sir.
And so as we were coming back to the office, you and him were talking, and you was talking to him about you can't just judge something based on what you see, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, and so I asked you the other day, I said, what do you think about race? What do you think about that? What did you tell me?
I said I really didn't care about race. It's about their personality.
Okay. I appreciate that, man. There's a lot to be learned from that. So let me ask you a question, right? What do you think we could do as a teenager? How old are you? I
Me?
know, but
13.
You're 13. You're a teenager, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you see that adults, we could do better to help teenagers? What do you think we could do?
Well, some teenagers need their parents to pay attention. Some teenagers need to just talk to their parents, and some teenagers just don't feel comfortable talking to their parents, so they go to other people, or they just keep it to themselves. And people say that you're not supposed to hold emotions in, but personally I do, and I know a bunch of other people do. And helping teenagers is a lot, because during this year and last year, a bunch of kids have died.
So what can we do as adults to help teenagers? What can we do? How can we help make our community better, our place better? Because, you know, we're getting ready to go back to school, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm constantly telling you, Jay, sit up. Jay, take your hands out of your pocket. I'm always telling you that every day, right?
Yes, sir.
So how can we make each other better? How can adults help make the school year better, make the community better? What would you like to see happen?
That's a good question.
What are you tired of seeing happening in the community?
Kids dying.
Kids dying?
Especially my age.
Okay. How can we stop that?
From preventing gang violence.
Gang violence, okay. How do I prevent that? Educate me. You know, most of the time you talking a mile a minute, right? You telling me this, you talk so much, sometimes I'll tell you, can you wait till folk invite you into the conversation? Right? I tell you
Yes,
that
sir.
all the time, right?
Yes, sir.
So tell me, how can we fix that?
Well, some kids need to actually talk to their parents because some kids feel like they don't have any friends, so they end up joining gangs or stuff like that.
So you went to the summer program, the YMC up at Camp Haynes, right?
Yes, sir.
You were up there the whole week.
Yes, sir.
And tell me, what did you think about that? What did you learn? What did you get from that?
It was cool. It was fun.
Cool. Okay.
We done a lot of stuff, but the second to last day, I ended up getting my blue rag.
What's a blue rag? What that mean?
You have to make a promise to God.
Am I allowed to ask you what your promises were, or were they private?
I wanted to be I wanted to be closer to God. I wanted to be a better person. And my last thing was...
It's all right if you can't think of it. So, this summer's been a very interesting summer. We suffering through COVID, civil unrest. We saw a lot of that.
Yes, sir.
And then you and I end up together. You end up mentoring me, or however it was supposed to go, right?
Yes, sir.
I've learned a lot from being around you this summer. They say out of the mouths of babes come amazingly truth. I've learned a lot from you. So tell me this. What did you learn being here at the sheriff's office? What did you learn every day hanging out?
Well, I've learned a lot of discipline.
Okay.
I've learned how to keep calm. I've learned how to control a lot of stuff that I couldn't control before I came here.
Okay.
And I've learned a lot of stuff. Okay. Like before I came here, I didn't know what a deputy or a sergeant was, or a chief.
Okay.
I just thought all the people here were cops. But I've learned a lot here.
Well, good. Do you feel comfortable around these guys here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you and I were talking in the office the other day, and we were talking about the violence. We were talking about school. We were talking about a lot of things. So, as we head back to school, right?
Yes, sir.
We head back to school. We want to have a safe year. We want the violence to stop. We want the shootings to stop, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you want the adults to do? What do you want them to do? I better see, what do you want the police to do? The sheriff did. What do you want us to do? Is there anything you want from us?
Y'all are doing y'all's job.
Okay. Anything we need to do different? Anything adults we need to do as adults? How can we make the community better?
Well, I don't know. Well, community in general is good, but the environment that some people live in is just like that. That's what controls people. That what brings them in gang violence. It's just the environment.
The environment that they live in?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, let me ask you a question, right?
Yes, sir.
Maybe I shouldn't ask you this about gangs, right?
Yes, sir.
But what keeps you out of gangs?
You, my mom, all the people that loves me.
Okay.
Jameson, Tiny, the pastor. I've never been in a gang, and I'm not trying to, because all the family members that were either are in jail or they're in the ground.
Okay. Wow. I know you see a lot. You've seen a lot. I know your story. You've seen a lot as a young kid. You've seen things that kids shouldn't see at your age. You've seen death. You've seen a lot of things. And I'm just truly amazed at your resilience, how, as they say, street smart. You're very streetwise. And I'm just amazed at all of the things that you've seen. Every day you show up, every day. I hadn't had to fire you yet, right?
Yes, sir.
You've done everything of it. Well, you've forgotten to bring your book a couple times, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you know what the requirements were. People say, well, what do you mean you hadn't fired him, right? So you had some requirements you had to live up to, right?
Yes,
to
sir.
get an allowance every week, right?
Yes, sir.
What were your allowances? I mean, what did you have to do?
I had to do homework.
Okay.
I had to bring my book.
Okay.
And I had to
every Sunday, what you had to do?
go to church.
Somewhere.
And I would get $100. If I didn't do homework, I got cut off $5. If I didn't bring my book, I got cut off $5. If I didn't go to church, I got cut off $50.
Exactly. Right?
Yes, sir.
You got your allowance cut, right?
Yes, sir.
In other words, you had to work to get your allowance, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you got cut off a couple times, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
You got cut the first week, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next week you got shorted $5, right? For
Yes,
homework
sir.
or something, right?
Yes, sir.
So so you know, in life, everything in life has a price, right?
Yes,
There's
sir.
consequences.
Yes, sir.
That's the reason we did that. That if you don't do this, then you don't get that, right?
Yes, sir.
Everything is a chain reaction. What you do now sets you up for success, or it sets you up for
Failure.
Exactly. So we're going back to school on Monday, right?
Yes, sir.
Starting to school.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling? You excited?
Yes, sir. Get to see a lot of my friends. It's not even about that. It's just last year was hectic, and I was really last year was stressing for a lot of people, not just me, because it was either you was going through computer, then you was going through in school, then some people had to go back to computer, then we had to go to in school, and plus we was using computers in school.
Did you like that? Did you like that?
No, I didn't.
So you rather be in school?
Yes, sir.
Why?
Because sometimes they have a lot of stuff going on, especially on the computer, and everybody doesn't understand. Like, I was one of the people that did not understand last year, and it was just really, really hectic, and I couldn't get to like half of the classes because I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to I was figuring it out through the way going on, and it was just real stressed out last year.
You do know we're going back to school, right?
Yes, sir.
You do know if I get a call about you clowning in school, right?
Yes, sir.
You do know I'm going to show up, right?
Yes, sir.
And you do know it's going to be a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
It's going to be smoke, you know?
Yes, sir.
You know, in the Bible, they talked about laying hands on people, praying for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different kind of laying hands, I'm just saying.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Right. So how's everything going?
Good.
Okay. Well, I wanted you to come on the show for several reasons. One is I wanted to share with people the thoughts of our young kids. I wanted them to know that our young kids matter, and they see us, they mimic us, and we've got to be better together, right?
Yes, sir.
We got to create a better pathway for them. We've got to stop the killing. We've got to stop that. You brought a good point up, right? You're tired of seeing young kids dying. You brought up the thing about race. You don't care about race. You care about the person, right?
Yes, sir.
That's interesting you said that. You know, we've had civil unrest. We've had a lot of racial divide. And it's amazing that a 13-year-old kid, right, a 13-year-old teenager has the articulation and the understanding to recognize that it don't matter. What matters is who that person is and how they treat and how we treat one another. It's very important, man, that you were able to decipher that and come to that conclusion. I thought it was kind of interesting, the conversation y'all had about the food at the restaurant, and come to find out, I thought maybe that was just God's way of just showing y'all that, hey, y'all might be onto something. Y'all thought the food was good and thought it was black and thought it was white, but y'all were wrong. It was a Hispanic guy cooking, right? I guess the moral of that story is, right, you can't judge the chef by the taste of the food, right?
Yes, sir.
Or you can't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want you to know, man, I'm expecting big things from you. I'm expecting a lot of success from you this year. We're going to continue what we're doing, because you leave here and you go to You go to the Y every day, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, to the program over there.
Yes, sir.
So we're excited about you, man. We're excited about what the future holds for you. I'm excited about your growth from what I've seen over the summer. I'm excited from where you were to where you're going and your progress. I'm going to give you about a minute or so. Anything you want to say before we close it out? Anything you want to tell the people? Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to say to me?
The one thing I have to tell the people is have a good day and stay positive.
I like that. Anything you want to ask me?
No, sir.
Okay. Anything you want to say about me? Bad, good, and indifferent. Don't matter.
You a good person.
You ain't have to say that, man. Yeah. Am I hard on you?
Yes, sir. You expect more things that I can do.
Don't tell everybody I'm hard on you, man. Don't tell people
But that's a good thing, because you expect more than a bunch of people do. A bunch of people don't expect a lot of stuff from me. A bunch of people expect me to go to jail. You expect a lot more than what other people expect.
You know why I expect so much from you? Because I grew up 1 block, 2 block. I grew up 3 blocks from where you live at. I should play basketball in the neighborhood that you live in. A lot of my friends I went to school with, the Stovers. I could go on and name a lot of people that I played basketball with and went to school with that grew up in your neighborhood. And so I see myself when I look at you, right? I see myself in a lot of ways that I could have went in a lot of ways in life. I didn't have to be the sheriff. I didn't. There were guys like Mo Lucas. There was guys in my neighborhood like Mike, Guy, Moochie, man. I had older guys that looked after me when I was growing up, that kept me on the straight and narrow. You know, there's a guy that named Kenny Harrison. They called him Horse, right? I mean, he had some issues, some substance abuse issues, but he always told me not to do certain things. He told me I was better than this. And he kept me on the straight and narrow. And it was interesting that he couldn't keep himself on the straight and narrow, but he always told me to stay away from it. And so, you know, one of the things that when I see you, or I have an obligation to give back. I have an obligation to do that, because I could have been a lot of things, man. Some people sold into me. Some people, growing up, man, it was guys in the neighborhood protected me. That was crazy, right? They would look after me. They wouldn't let things happen to me. And I appreciate all them guys, man, that looked after me, man. All of them, man, looked after me. And so there's truth in it takes a village to raise a child. There's truth in all of that. But that's why I expect more from you, because I see more. I see you beyond where you at. I see great things from you, man. I see a diamond that we just need to keep polishing. I see a lot of our children, we just need to keep rubbing on them, keep hugging on them, keep loving on them. And eventually they're going to be the brilliance, the diamonds, the value that they possess will truly come to fruition. So I want you to know that we love you here at the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. I love you. You've become a fixture here in the Sheriff's Office. Everybody want to know what Jaydan at, where he at, what he doing, right? So have a great start of your school year. We're going to stay in touch. We're glad to have you. Anytime you want to come by, why am I telling you that? You're here all the time. But if you don't have nothing else to say, anything you want to say to me before we go, I appreciate you hanging out with me on Off the Cuffs today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be a part of this Off the Cuffs today. It's very special to me because, you know, our children are our future. Our children are the most valuable asset that we have in this community. And we've got to realize that and make sure that we cover them, make sure we pray for them, make sure we take care of them, because they will replace us one day. We will become super seniors and they will be replacing us. And how will they replace us if they are not trained up the way they should be. So as we begin a new school year, let's get involved. Let's take control of our communities, take control of our school, take control of our resources, our assets, and let's love on our children. As always, this is Bobby Kimbrough, and thank you for being here with us off the cuffs. Thank you.